Question number 2 is, what does the infrastructure look like? Infrastructure is so important. In fact, my wife tells me all the time, don't talk about infrastructure. It's not sexy. And she's right. It's not sexy because many times the infrastructure is what's buried under the ground and you never see it again. But it's also the roads and the sidewalks and the street lights and all the things that are important for quality of life. And in fact, infrastructure is ultimately the most important thing for quality of life. One of the least sexy things that I can talk about is storm water drainage. Managing that, engineering that up front. Because here's the reality. In Latin America, in the tropics, we get rains. And when it rains, it can rain 3 or 4 inches in 3 or 4 hours. And when it rains 4 inches of rain in 3 or 4 hours, you got a ton of water going wherever it goes. It's so important for a developer to come in and engineer where that water's going to go. Put in the 24 and 36-inch storm drains under the streets to take that water and move it somewhere where the developer has decided it wants to go. Or the water's going to go where God wants it to go. And that might not be good for the home or the property that you have. If you're in the way of a big rushing wall of water every time it rains, that's not good. So again, infrastructure, so important, so critically important for your long-term satisfaction. Streets, right? Paved streets, dirt streets. What do you want? Make that evaluation. Buy what you see. You know, if you go to a development and they've got dirt streets and you're happy with that, great. If they've got above ground electricity and telephone poles and wires running, great. If you prefer underground, you need to see it. Buy what you see. It's so important. Gonna. You'll hear me talk about more and more as we go through these questions, the word gonna. Gonna is the easiest word in the developer lexicon. We're gonna put in underground utilities. We're gonna build a swimming pool. We're gonna build a golf course. Gonna. Gonna doesn't matter. Buy what you see. If the land has underground utilities, it's worth the price with underground utilities. If the land is bare and nothing there, well then it's worth raw land. So again, at the end of the day, buy what you see is so important because unlike the United States and Canada, where we have bonding requirements, developers have to bond for performance. They actually have to post money or post assets to say, yeah, we promised all these streets and sidewalks and all the clubhouses and all these amenities. We've bonded to perform. Well, in Latin America, there's no performance bond, so a developer can pretty much say whatever they want and deliver whatever they can. And I'm not saying developers come out and try to con people up front, although some do, but most don't. But the reality is that, you know, underfunding, lack of funding, inadequate funding really plagues the development industry in Latin America. So a developer with the best intentions in the world can talk about what they're gonna do, and they really, truly, I believe in their heart of hearts, believe they're going to do it. But the money runs short. They don't sell as many lots as they thought they were going to sell. Whatever. Some event happens to really stop the progress of their community. Well, you've already bought, you own, and now you may or may not have electric or streets or whatever it is. So buy what you see is probably the single most important aspect of the 15 questions. Because if you buy what you see, you'll always be happy with what you own.